Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about having a Cancer Sun and Scorpio Moon in a natal chart. Now, as far as the basic character goes, which in this case is the Sun, being a Cancer, can be very tenacious, sympathetic, caring, devoted, dedicated, protective, and security conscious. Now, on the unconscious side, which is the moon being Scorpio in this case, can be very intense, resourceful, uh, incisive, probing, resilient, and when you look at this, one way this may manifest as far as the combination goes of the Sun, Moon, and I also want to be kind and rewind. I want to elaborate and expound on what I'm talking about. Of course, I'm talking about people that have Cancer Sun and Scorpio Moon combination in their chart, a Cancer Sun and Scorpio Moon. Now, this person may bring those dedicated Cancerian qualities in something Scorpio related, which include psychology, the occult, which includes astrology, locksmithing, recycling, investigation, transformations such as the physical body, or it can be, like a vehicle as an example, like if you're rebuilding an engine. And also to keep in mind, the Sun, is about, our basic wants. And the Cancer Sun wants the home and family more so than most, the Cancer Sun is going to want the home and family more so than most on average. It is the sign connected with the home and family, and also safety and security. And the Scorpio Moon, Moon is about our emotional needs, and Scorpio Moon needs power. They need control, things that are complex, going about intimate connections more so than most, and going beyond the surface and superficiality and subterfuge. This could be a person, with the Sun in Cancer being very security conscious, and this, what may play a role in this, having Scorpio Moon and being, emphasizing safety and security. This could be that person that does like a lot of background checks on their, on their neighbors, and looking at the crime rate in the area before moving, more so, before if somebody has this combination, and say they're in a, a transition stage in their housing and they're going from one home to another. This could be the person that may investigate the area very thoroughly before actually embarking on that move. And the thing about this too is, now the true self, being the Sun and Cancer in this case, can be very nurturing, emotional, temperamental, very sensitive to criticism and ridicule. And also to keep in mind, it could be inner self, which is the Moon, which is Scorpio in this case, can be very obsessive, transforming, secretive, incisive. Some examples. And this may be a person that is very, the Sun is about our drive and motivation. So this person may be very driven and motivated, which is the Sun, to do things that they're comfortable with, which is Cancer. And this may be done, with more, emotional intensity and passion and desire, since the Moon being in Scorpio. And also, and it might involve more intimate connections, because Scorpio is the sign of that, getting more support in these matters. It can be also to shared resources situation may figure prominently in attaining the Cancerian basic wants. And the thing is, looking at this as well, keep in mind this could be more harmonious. If this is in the trine aspect in astrology is 120 degrees. The aspect is auspicious. It's very flowing energy. And I use a 10-degree orb if at least one personal planet is involved. In this case, you do have two personal planets involved. So let's say if the Cancer Sun is at 23 degrees and the Scorpio Moon is at 19 degrees, that would form a trine aspect. And like the Cancer Sun, as an example, wants to care and nurture, and the Scorpio Moon needs to give support. So this is really a very favorable combination, especially if it's if it fits in trine aspect. I know the moon is in its fallen Scorpio, but as far as the blending of the energies, you do have sun and the moon both in water signs, but this could be a very intense emotional combination. The Cancer Sun, the basic character, naturally can be very emotional. The Scorpio Moon, the moon is about our emotional expression, and the Scorpio Moon can have very intense and convoluted, very turbulent emotions. To say the absolute least. They may have more control over them than the typical Cancer Sun, because the Scorpio Moon can control the emotions, but when they're unleashed, they can be very powerful. And it's also important to look at contraindicators in the chart, as well as this could impact how this energy manifests, how strong it may come out. If you have like a completely different ascendant, if you have like a Gemini rising or Capricorn rising, this outwardly, the ascendant is our outer demeanor, with the qualities that are expressed naturally, and it may be, it may cover more of this sensitivity connected with the Cancer Sun and Scorpio Moon. Person, and the moon is about our emotional needs. And I had a friend of mine many years ago that was a Cancer Sun and Scorpio Moon, and I believe he was Scorpio rising as well, based on the approximate time that was given me. And I could remember him walking around. One day he had like a Ouija board tied around his around his body. It's like it was strapped like to his body, and you could see like the Ouija board on by his back when he was walking. I kind of got a kick out of that. But you could see the emotional needs, can be things connected with the occult and the supernatural. As far as Scorpio Moon goes, and this person may be more secretive than the typical Cancer Sun, because the Scorpio Moon, at least on an unconscious level, they want to suppress, hide a lot of the things going on in their personal life. The moon is connected with what we're close, people we're close to home, with our home and our family life as well. And also keep in mind that if you have the sun, Cancer Sun and Scorpio Moon, if it's in a trine aspect, it can be more favorable and auspicious for better rapport and relationship between the biological father and mother. The sun is associated with the biological father. The moon is connected with the mother. And having a Cancer Sun, it could indicate your biological father, maybe a Cancer Sun, moon, or ascendant person, or embody those characteristics. If you have the Scorpio Moon, the mother may be a Scorpio Sun, moon, or ascendant person, or embody those traits. The sun and the moon can be about our perception of our biological father and mother, respectively. Cancer Sun, the person may perceive their biological father as someone that's sympathetic, caring, tenacious, yet moody and temperamental. And the person may perceive, with the Scorpio Moon, the person may perceive their mother as someone that's controlling, powerful, mysterious, intense, secretive, as decisive as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this. Excuse me. That'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.